All right, so I think we're at number 5. What do the following loops output? So we have int num1 number equals 1, while number less than 11, number plus plus, cout number end line end of loop. All right, so int num equals 1. Is number less than 11?
Yes.
Yes. So what does it do? Add 1. So number is now the number 2, and then it gets to the cout. So what's it do? It prints 2, and then it goes to an end line, and then it jumps back up. Is number less than 11? Yes, because number is still 2. So we add 1 to number, and then we print it. So number becomes 3, so on and so forth. So what's this going to print? When's it going to stop? So I think we all agree it's going to print 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
11. It's going to stay 11.
It's going to print 11.
Yeah, it's going to stop there.
But it's going to stop there?
Yeah.
But it says to stop when it's less than 11. How does it print 11?
Because 10 is less than 11, and then it adds.
Ah, very good. Because it gets to where number is 10. So it gets to number plus plus, number becomes 10, it prints 10, it jumps back up, number is still 10, so is number less than 11? Yes, number is still less than 11, it adds 1, prints 11, and then it jumps back up. Is number less than 11 still? No, so now it breaks, jumps to the end of this curly bracket, and does whatever comes next in the program. Alright, so a lot of people will say that one stops at 10, but it really goes it prints 11. Because of the way it's set up. Questions on that one? All right, B. B is kind of a crazy one because for B we have nested while loops, which can happen. So we're starting out with I equal 4. Again, you will never use a single letter variable name. I can, because I say so. While I is greater than or equal to 1, set j equal to 2. As long as j is greater than or equal to 1, cout j and then a space, and then subtract 1 from j, and then we come down, we cout I, and we end line, and we subtract 1 from I. All right, so one like this, it can be kind of helpful to build a table to see what's going on. So we have I, and we have j. I starts at 4. I starts at 4. So I starts at 4. While I is bigger than or equal to 1. Is 4 bigger than or equal to 1? Yeah, so j becomes 2. So j is 2. While j is bigger than 1. Is j bigger than 1? Yeah, because it's 2. Cout j and then a space. So what's it going to print right now? It's going to print 2 and then a space. And then we subtract 1 from j, so j becomes 1. Did we change I at all? No. So j becomes 1. We leave the I alone. Then we cout. Oh, no, we don't cout, do we?
No, it goes back to the while statement for j.
Because this curly bracket goes back to the while statement for j. Is j still greater than or equal to 1? Yes. So we print j again. J is now 1. And we print a space. We subtract 1 from j, so j becomes 0. We go back, jump back to the while loop. Is j bigger than or equal to 1 anymore? No. So we come down here, we print the I value. The I value was 4, and then we end line. And then we subtract 1 from I. So I is now the number 3. So I changes. I becomes the number 3. And then we go back up. So we jump back up. Where do we jump back up to? The first while. So we jump way back up to here. Is I bigger than 1?
Yes.
Yes, because it's 3. So j becomes 2 again. And there's a pattern developing. So now that j is 2, it's going to print 2 and a space. And then it's going to subtract 1 from the j. It's going to jump back up. J is now the number 1. So we're good there. It prints the number 1. It prints a space. J is now the number 0. So it jumps back up and it's no good anymore, is it? So it jumps to the end of here, does the next one, which was print I, so it's going to print a 3 and then go to a new line. Then what happens? It loops back. I now becomes the number 2, and I think we've seen enough of this that we understand what it's going to do. What's it going to do? It's going to print 2, 1, 2. Then it's going to print 2, 1, 1. And then it's going to print. It won't print 2, 1, 0. I was baiting you and leading you, hoping you would say that, because it stops as soon as I gets to be the number 0. It comes back here up here and it tests it. 0 is not bigger than 1.
But it will still print it because if you plug in 1, you will subtract go down to the bottom, see how.
So it's going to print the 1 right here, right? Then it's going to subtract 1, so now I is going to be 0. And it's going to go back up and test it and say, nope, doesn't work. Okay. So I think that's what it's going to print. Questions on that one? Oh, nothing in particular for this problem. I mean, this is just an example of you might use nested while loops at some point. I can't think of right off the top of my head a reason why you would use nested while loops, but you would use nested while loops when you want to hold one thing constant for a while and then change another variable, and then change this variable, do some other work with the other variable, so on and so forth. Do digital clocks run by while loops? I don't know. How's that for an honest answer?
Well, sometimes hardware, like there'll be a oscillating crystal inside it, and that's what it bases its cycle off of. Using a program to denote time isn't a super great idea, because even though clock cycle is relatively stable on whatever control like computer you're using, it can shift a little bit, and so that doesn't really make it super great for a clock, because by the end of the year it might be 10 minutes off or 15 minutes off. So you could do it, but not generally collect numbers.
So according to Chris, no.
No. You could, but
You
like
could.
most of the time they don't.
Okay. You know. So yeah, so like that clock up there, of course, runs on a battery and it has a gear system that turns it. A digital clock, like my alarm clock at home, I don't know how it works. I plug it in, it goes beep, beep, beep in the morning, and I get up. That's all I'm.
They're called RTC, real time clock.
Okay.
There you
All right. Anyway, good question. I don't know the answer. I don't know how clocks work. They just do. All right. So we're starting here with number equals 5 and sum equals 0, and then we're doing. So what's the difference again between a while loop and a do loop? The do loop will run no matter what at least once. The while loop, it's possible it may never run. That's correct. All right, so here's a new symbol I don't think we've seen before. So this is sum plus equals number. Anybody have any idea what that does?
increments some
Correct. So this line could be written the same way as this. Sum equals sum plus number. Those are exactly the same line. So that's a shortcut notation for whatever my sum is, just add more to it. That's a shorthand notation that we use sometimes. All right, and then we have number minus minus. While number is greater than 0, see out, the sum is sum. All right, so again, I think it might be worthwhile to build a little table here. We have sum and we have number. Sum starts at 0, number starts at 5. So in this very first line, we do sum equals sum plus number. In other words, sum is now going to be the number 5. And then number gets... Yeah, that's another symbol we haven't seen before, have we? We've seen the number minus minus. You can also do minus minus number. It also subtracts 1 from the thing. And you can do plus plus number also, adds 1. There's a slight difference between the two, but we're not going to worry about that too much. All right, so number gets subtracted by 1, so number becomes 4. Is number still bigger than 0? Yes, so I jump back up. I add number equals number, sum equals sum plus number, so sum now becomes 9. And we subtract 1 from number, number becomes 3. And then we keep going. The next time we do 9 plus 3, which is 12, and we subtract 1, so that becomes a 2. We add them together. 12 and 2 is 14. We subtract 1 there. That becomes a 1. All right, so number is still bigger than 0. So we go back up here. We add again. That's 15. Number becomes 0, and then number is no longer bigger than 0. So we jump out of the loop, and what are we going to print?
Sum is.
The sum is 15. So what did that loop do? Multiplied number by 3 in the end. That's true, but that was just a happy coincidence. What if I changed my beginning number to 10? Then it wouldn't be 15 anymore. What would it be?
It gives you the value of whatever the number is factorial.
No, well, not factorial, because a factorial,
It's multiplication.
that would be 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1.
So it would still be
Yeah, it's giving me the summation. So basically what this is doing is it's taking 5 plus 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1 and adding them all together, and that answer is 15. If I changed this to be number equals 10 at the beginning, then it would go 10 plus 9 plus 8 plus 7 plus 6 plus 5 plus 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1 and give me whatever that sum is. Okay? So that's all that loop is doing. It's adding all the numbers between 1 and whatever your starting number n is. Questions on that? How would you change it if you wanted factorial?
Well, you change your equation down here.
How would I change my equation down here?
Well, I mean, you have some asterisk number, but you'd also have to change your sum to 1.
Ah, very good. If I wanted to do factorial, you're exactly right. I would change this line to sum. I probably wouldn't use the word sum, but I'm going to stick with it because it's which one is there. Times equals number. What's that? I think so. I don't know. We'll go try it later. I think you can. If you can't, then you do sum equals sum times number. I think you can do that, but we'll try. Maybe I'm wrong. It's possible. But you're right. If you wanted to do factorial, you would need to start that at 1, not at 0. Because if you started it at 0, 0 times anything is going to be 0, and your answer is going to be 0. So watch out for that. If you want to start, if you're doing something where you want to add a bunch of stuff up, you want to start it at 0. If you're doing something where you want to multiply a bunch of stuff together, you start it at 1. Questions on that? All right. Max number equals 5. Number equals 0. Sum equals 0. Do minus minus number. Sum plus equals number. While number is not equal to the maximum number, see out the average of the first maximum number. Positive integers is sum divided by max number. All right, so max number never changes, does it? So I don't think we need to keep track of that one. I I think we need to keep track of number and sum. Number starts at 0, sum starts at 0. Then we do number minus minus. So number becomes -1, and then sum plus equals number. So sum becomes 0 plus -1 is -1. While number is not equal to max number. Is number equal to max number? No, so we jump back, and what happens? It gives us an infinite loop, doesn't it? Because this is now going to be a -2. We're going to take -1 plus -2, that's -3. And then this becomes a -3 and a -4 and a -5. This is going to run forever. It's never going to stop. Crash the mainframe again. Stupid freshmen. Where's the mistake in the program? What did I mean to have?
Plus, plus.
It should have been plus plus number right there. Add them up. Okay. Questions on that? All right, and then it says, let's write some programs. Write a program to count the number of characters in a sentence. All right. Alright, so I've got the beginning here. This program will count number of characters in a sentence. Okay, well, what do I need? Do I need any variables? I need a character, okay. Character. What do you want to call the character variable? Letter. Mississippi. Mississippi's too hard to spell. Too long. Any other variables that we need? Do I need a string for the sentence? Nope.
Oh, are we making the sentence?
Yeah, we will see in the sentence.
Probably the amount of characters.
I need to count the amount of characters, don't I? What kind of variable is that? That's an int. So int count. Counts the number of letters. A letter variable. Okay, now what? Go ahead.
So we're counting the number of characters.
Yes.
So that will include spaces.
Is a space a character?
Yes.
It is.
So maybe we should rename chocolate.
We'll stick with that. It's okay. Letters okay. We'll see. We'll see if we get it right or not. I was thinking spaces were not characters. If like you count the number of words in a thing, it doesn't count spaces. We'll see. We'll see if we get it right or not.
See out.
Yeah, some asterisk equals number does work.
It does work? Okay.
It does work.
So he tested the star equals thing to see if it does multiply correctly. It does. Okay, that's good to know. Well, I think we should give directions, right? Type a sentence, preferably short, and this will count the number of characters. Okay. Now what? CN, the first character. So CN, letter. But that only allows them to type one single letter, correct? So as long as the sentence is I, or A, that's not a sentence. So we have to make a while loop. So when does a sentence end? It ends with a period, doesn't it? So what's our while loop going to be? While? Well, letter is not equal to period. So that's what's going to tell it to stop. When the person types a period, that's the end of the sentence and the loop will stop running. All right, so while letter is not equal to a period. And period is a character, so it needs to be in single quotes like that.
Can you put multiple conditions in a while, like letter is not equal to period and letter is not equal to question mark?
It would be more.
Okay, that was going to be my question. Do you want it to be and or do you want it to be or?
I want it to be or.
You want it to be or because if it's and,
And it's going to look for both.
then it's going to look for both and there'll be no way to stop it.
Yeah.
All right, so you're saying a sentence can end with a question mark?
Yeah. Or exclamation mark.
Well, is a question a sentence?
Yes.
Yes. You said that questioningly.
Well, I know English area.
And one exclamation mark, and then there's just declared.
All right, so while letter is not a period, a question mark, or an exclamation mark. Are there any other sentence enders?
If you do nothing, like if you just type and don't use any punctuation, and you look for a line character, you see
Yes.
you do letters not equal to that section.
But that's not the code. Oh, there is a code for how to look for the end of a line. And off the top of my head, I don't remember it. So we're going to have to end our sentence with a period, a question mark, or an X. We are going to use proper English grammar, and we will end our sentence with something. All right. All right. So while we're not at the end of the sentence, what do we want to do?
Set count.
Okay, we should have started back at the beginning with count equal to 0, because what's count going to do for us? It's going to count. So we need to tell it to start somewhere. So right now we've read a letter. The letter is not one of those punctuation marks. So what's that tell us? Our sentence has a letter, doesn't it? So what should we do? We should count, right? So we got to count plus plus. Okay. And then what? That it? No, I think there needs to be one more line in our while loop. Because right now, if I type the letter A, that loop's going to run forever and ever and ever. I have to see in the next letter, don't I? So I need to increment my loop. So I need to read the next letter. Okay. Anything else I need in my loop?
I'm not sure.
Well, I think before we run it, we should do
Something that says
see out.
saying you know that.
There were count characters. Oops. C-H-R-A-C-T-E-R-S. And I should put a space before character so it looks pretty. And then I should put an end line here so it doesn't say press next key right next to it. Like so. All right. That looks very pretty. Yeah, let's start with that. It'll look prettier if it runs. All right, so hi there. So how many characters is that? Depends on if it's going to count the space, isn't it? So it's either 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or it's going to count the space and it's going to count it as. Is it going to count the period? All right. Well, let's see what it gives us for an answer, and then we'll figure out what it did.
That's a nice answer.
Keep hitting enter; it doesn't do anything.
Try an exclamation.
We can see our mood changing as we go further down.
I can see our mood changing. Oh, there's some swear words here. All right. Well, something went wrong. Any ideas what went wrong? Go ahead. Okay, that's not the issue. Let's talk about that again. So if I type hi there, I haven't hit enter yet. So what the computer does, as soon as I hit enter, it reads this first letter. It saves everything else for the next time it sees a CN. So when I hit enter, letter, right here, letter will be the letter H. Then it should test, as long as letter is not one of the things that tells it to end, add 1, so it'll say we have 1 letter, C in the next letter, so that's when it'll read the I. And then it'll go back up, I was not one of those things, read the next letters. No, as soon as I hit enter, it'll read the I, it'll save all the other stuff for the next time it sees a CN. So it's just like when you're entering numbers, when you do CN, num1, num2, you can type in a number, put a space, another number. It reads the first one, it reads the second one. It does the same thing here. It saves all these extra letters until the next time it sees a CN command, and that's when it reads them. So when I hit enter right here, it should read all that stuff in. Of course, I didn't put a period, so it doesn't stop, but of course, if I put a period, it doesn't stop anyway. We already found that out. Okay.
Try putting a C out into your while loop.
Try putting a C out into my while loop. All right.
Maybe C out the count. So,
C out, count. So this is a good debugging technique. If you're not sure what's going on, sometimes it's a good idea to put print statements in the middle of a thing to see if it's getting there, to see if it's actually running. All right, so let's try running that and see what it's doing.
See your variables, see what's happening.
Right, see if my variable's actually changing. Is it getting to that while loop? So let's try hi there again. Sort of like that sentence. Period. Hit enter. So it counted. It counted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So now the question is, did it count the space or did it count the period?
Well, it shouldn't have counted the period because he said, well, it's not.
Oh yeah, they got the spaces.
Okay, so here's another funny thing. What if I type some more letters? That while loop is still running. So so there's something wrong with our period. It's not breaking the while loop.
Okay.
Right now we have an infinite while loop. It's waiting for us forever and ever and ever.
Period exclamation question.
9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yeah. There's no spacing, so those numbers look weird, but that's really 9, 10, 11, 12.
so should we put a comma in this, to the you have the individual between each
Or, if you want to see it so it looks more pretty, we could do this. Right? All right, so that's not going to fix our problems, though.
No, but it'll make our problems at least look a little
It'll make
All right. How many letters is this? Apparently that's 20 letters. Now let's just see here. 1, 2, 3, and 4 is 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19.
It counts the,
Counts the question mark, but not the spaces, I think is what's going on. All right, so the question now is,
so there's gotta be something wrong with their statement.
so there's got to be something wrong right here, because it's getting into the while loop, it's never stopping the while loop. So what's wrong?
This is the parentheses thing, should they be regular or
The parentheses on a while loop should be
not?
the
Not
regular parentheses.
The single quote.
The single quotes?
That's what I did double.
You think it should be double quotes?
I mean, I don't
No,
know.
because for double quotes, like that's for like case statement type deal, whereas like double quotes, you have to see that.
We're going to try it.
Yeah, so it's still wrong.
Yeah, it's like, hey, what are you doing?
Does there need to be anything there else?
I think you can only handle one.
All right, so it doesn't like that either, does it? Because now it's got
Now you
stuff
can-
there. Let's see. Yeah, we got syntax errors. And we knew that was going to happen. Let's see. Character types are incompatible. And line 13. All right. So you're saying maybe nothing at all?
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe just the one.
Yeah, yeah, try not doing it more. and just put it in.
All right. So let's just try the period with nothing else for a while. How'd I do what? I hit the delete button.
I didn't know that either. I was like,
Yeah.
I didn't want to say anything.
I want to know how I did. That was really cool.
I'm gonna keep that one in mind.
Fancy, fancy. All right. So please work.
Here.
Period.
Hey, it works. And they're not-
Minus our count in the wild.
Well, we don't have to have that.
All right, so the issue was in our while statement.
Put if after a single letter, letter equals period.
All right, so what he's saying is so what you're saying is another option is right here. We could say if letter equals a question mark break. So now if it reads a question mark, it'll still stop.
But won't it count it?
Most likely.
It should not count it because we count it here, then we read the question mark,
Oh, okay.
it sees the question mark, it breaks it, it quits out everything.
Yeah, let me go back.
It shouldn't go back up.
Let's try.
Well,
Or do we want to go all out and do or?
I'm going to throw the little or back in there.
Yeah.
That bothers me that it didn't work. I don't know why it didn't work.
Wait, do you legitimately not know why it worked? Or?
I legitimately don't know why it didn't work. I'm not happy with it. Let's try that. All right. Start with that button. Yeah. All right. Does it
Do you work now?
still work? Can I hear you now? It'll work. I cannot type. Question mark.
There were 15 characters.
There were 15
With
characters.
the exclamation point.
Try it with an exclamation point. All right.
But if you do it like that, it won't count for characters. Also, we should put a new line after characters, period.
Yeah, I should have put one there. Still work? Darn it, still work.
I like that.
So why didn't it work in the while loop?
Can you not put or statements in a well?
Maybe not. I thought you could.
Maybe or parentheses. Because then that will see it as a one conditional statement instead of one statement.
All right, so what you're saying is, we're going to try that. Formatting selection. Hurry up. So are you saying put a parenthesis here and one there maybe? Put a parenthesis around each one of these? I do have to change it to not equals. Yes, thank you. I would be very surprised if that makes a difference, but we will try it. That's another good trick, by the way. If you have something that works, don't erase it. Document it out so that if you want it back, you can put it back in. So now it's not reading that if statement anymore. All right. Yes? Question mark? That's a no. All right, so I don't, it appears as though you cannot use or statements in a while loop. It does seem weird. I agree.
Can you
But
do it in a do while loop?
I would guess not, because they use the same exact while command at the end.
Yeah, but one has a semicolon.
One has a semicolon and one doesn't. That's true. I'm surprised if you can't do it that it doesn't give you an error. It says you shouldn't be doing that. All right, well, I will investigate that. I will try to figure out why.
So would that be a runtime error or what?
I would declare this as a logical error, because a runtime error usually crashes the program, and this is worse than a runtime error. It never kills the program. It sets up an infinite loop. So
An infinite loop of blank is pretty rough.
I'm going to try one more thing. Try that. No, Gary. Still doesn't work. All right, it's really not happy with that. All right. Like I say, I don't know the answer to that. I will look into it, and I will let you know about on Tuesday. All right, so to make our program work, we got to take this out. And we got to bring our if statement back to life.
Or the problem is if you have those or statements, it might be a period because if it's one of those, it's still not. Like if it's a period, it's still not an exclamation point or question mark.
Ah, I think you're right. I think you just hit on the. Our logic is bad because it reads this: while letter is not equal to a period. So if we type a question mark, is it equal to a period? No. So it says it's still good. Go ahead and run. So you're absolutely right. We had the wrong command in between. It should have been and letter is not equal to a question mark. And we didn't listen to Alex. Letter is not equal to an exclamation. It doesn't work. It's going to work. I'm so confident I'm going to take that out. I just took it out. I was mad at it, so I took it out. So that's the mistake we were making when we typed in a period. While letter is not period, it was saying, okay, it's not a period, or letter is not a question mark. It said, well, letter's not a question mark. It's a period, so that's okay. Keep going. So I think we need and there. Alex was right. Exclamation mark. That was our mistake. All right, so we made a logical error, which caused our program to not run correctly, and that happens sometimes. You screw up. That's the way it goes. Questions? But we still decided we weren't counting the spaces, right? That's 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, we're not counting the spaces. You don't want to remember that? Oh, you don't want, you're not taking a picture of Alex's ring?
No, I'm not gonna take pictures. Pictures of the program.
Well, I do paste it on Blackboard, but if you want to take a
Yeah,
picture.
but I don't get on Blackboard like
Well, all right, I don't think we have time to write the next program today. So we will come back and we will play with that on Tuesday and we'll see if we can get it right the first time.
I actually